Hello and welcome to my little astrological prediction video for the month of September 2016. Well, what have we got this month? Well, there are two main issues really in astrology. One is called the Neptune Saturn Square and the other one is called an eclipse season. So I'll explain the English for both of those. And then we've got a few little bits to look at the end as well. So here we go. Right, so what is a Neptune-Saturn square all about? Well, this describes a cultural malaise, really. And it's the cultural malaise that has been hanging around us since last September, something like that. It has a few issues, main issues that it describes, and these really are mainly to do with things like ethics, principles, ideology, morals, and religious or spiritual ideals. And we can see a lot of this in worldwide news, really. The issues that are related to it in the USA are probably the Black Lives Matter movement. Gun laws seem to be resonating with it. And then, of course, we have Donald Trump with his controversial ideas. It certainly seems as if that is an issue which is being described by the Neptune-Saturn square as well. In the UK, we have the Brexit issue. Immigration is a big thing over here. And we also have a political party leadership row going on, which is about ideals and ideologies. Across Europe, they're also grappling with Brexit. And such things as nationalism and EU scepticism. Of course, we have terrorism, which is a worldwide issue. Now, we've had this Neptune-Saturn square in place since last year, as I've said. But it has its third peak or hit, its third last hit in September. Now, this should mean that we start to see a resolution of some of these issues. It's because the last hit, the third one of anything, is always about the healing part of it. It's where things are put back to bed in a better place, where we have done the work and some resolution has been come to. Now, some of us have been feeling a lot of depression or free-floating anxiety around this Neptune-Saturn square. And this has resulted in us working on ourselves as examination, meditation, thinking about things, working things through. And this has been good for us, even if it didn't feel like it. It has been good for us. But also, if we look at some of the atrocities that we have witnessed worldwide in the last year, these things have caused a debate. And debate makes change possible. They have caused thought and we have caused debate. And so what we're essentially doing is learning from our mistakes. We're looking at things and we are adjusting our minds and how we think about stuff. We're adjusting our ideals and our ideology. Our principles and ethics are all being challenged. And as they're being challenged, we're having to think about it. And we're doing the work. That means that we process it and we get a better result. We get a better process happening. We get better conditions. And hopefully what we should start to see in September is the results of this. We've had some of this stuff around for a while now. So we should be coming out with better answers than we had before. Okay, so let's cross our fingers for that one. The last hit is the middle of September. So we by the end of September, these things should all be put to bed. Right, now let's consider the eclipses. All right, so we have a solar eclipse on the 1st of September. But we're already in eclipse season in general because we had a lunar eclipse in August. And we've got another lunar eclipse actually on the 16th of September. So we've got three: lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. That's the run. It's called an eclipse season. And we get an eclipse season every year. So it's nothing new and it's nothing to fear. What we need to understand is what's happening. So I'll just explain that. So imagine, if you can, we have a boat going round a pond, right? It's going round and round a pond, and as it does so, the water kind of settles into a groove. All the ripples are regular as it goes round and round. Now, imagine another boat coming along and doing a separate circle which crosses over the first circle. Now you can see that we don't have that regular wave pattern anymore. Now the waves are going to collide and crash against each other and become quite choppy. Now, this is the effect out in space of the moon path, or the apparent path of the moon, and the apparent path of the sun as they go around the earth. What happens is there is an intersection from the path of the moon, the path of the sun. There is this intersection, and this causes disruption in a lot of the invisible energies. So we have gravitational corridors. The sun and the moon are big gravity producers. We have electromagnetic field lines coming from all of the space objects, the Earth, the sun, the moon, and all of these are colliding in this place where these paths cross. And it actually affects, kind of like space-time, it actually kind of rips it apart, it affects it. It causes a ripple in our dimension, of width and height and depth and time. It causes a ripple, and so therefore it's a place where other dimensions peep in, where energy from other dimensions seeps in. And this causes distortions, and it causes strange things to happen. It's kind of like a Harry Potter thing where staircases move and pictures talk. It's quite magical. It has a lot of deja vu associated with it, and you can get weird coincidences. So somebody you haven't seen for 5 years, you think about them briefly, and oh, I wonder where so-and-so is. And then the next day they're there in front of you. Wow, what a coincidence. It's that kind of thing. Little helpers come in, angels or human beings, to help us along with something out of the blue. Things are quite surprising. But also eclipse season brings a few other things, and this is it jangles our nervous system. Now, we know the science now of eclipses and earthquakes, and there is a synchronicity between the two. And we know that eclipses cause an immense impact on the Earth. When it interrupts the sun's rays falling on the ionosphere, this has a huge impact on the surface of the Earth. It kind of ripples down, has a big impact on the surface of the Earth. And so we get a big distortion and a big effect. Now that eventually also leads to our nervous system. It all ripples down till we get local stuff, and our nervous systems pick it up. So we get jangled, we get slightly disoriented. It doesn't feel so comfortable. And that's why eclipses have been such a huge event for the ancients going back millennia. A lot of the work they did with the big stone circles and everything was to allow them to be able to predict eclipses, because they were such a huge thing. They were probably more sensitive then to the effect of them, because we've tuned out of feeling our local electromagnetic environment. When we started tuning into radios and TVs and everything else, we tuned out of the Earth and the signals coming from space. But the ancients probably were more in touch with them. All animals are in touch with them. A lot of animals use the electromagnetic environment to navigate, for instance. Anyway, so there we go with eclipse season. So we can expect something of disruption around the 1st of September when we have the solar eclipse. Now this solar eclipse falls exactly on the Neptune-Saturn square. It gets into the degrees that this is occupying in the sky. Oh, that's quite big. What does it mean? What's going to happen? I think it means that all the stuff that I've been talking about will be in high profile. So nationally, things like your Black Lives Matter, Donald Trump, Brexit, terrorism, all this kind of stuff, the ideals, the principles, the morals, the ethics. I think all of that is in high profile, high relief. It's all going to be in our face, both personally and collectively. It's a big time. And then when we get the lunar eclipse on the 16th of September, it's not quite got the impact of a solar eclipse. I think we just have disturbed sleep patterns, that headaches, that sort of thing. So that's the eclipse season. Okay. Now I did promise you just a few extra things at the end. So, right, as September opens, we've got the planet Mercury conjunct the planet Saturn. Mercury conjunct Jupiter. What am I saying? And I think this is a good thing, because Jupiter is a very beneficent planet. It bestows confidence and joy. And so I think when we open September up until the 4th of September, we get something that in some way compensates for the gloomy depression of the Neptune Saturn Square and the eclipse. It's almost as if the Jupiter-Mercury thing is giving us a boost of confidence. So hopefully they'll level out and it won't all be doom and gloom. Hopefully, there's a bit of joy and optimism in there as well. So this is what I'm praying for anyway. So that's happening right at the beginning of September. And then another thing that we can consider for September is from the 10th through to the 16th, there's a lot of Chiron influence around. So I'll just explain what Chiron is all about. So Chiron is a mythological half-horse, half-man figure who headed a pack of wild centaurs, half horse, half man. They ran around the woods and everything, and he was their leader. And he was a figure who was known for his wisdom. He was a great healer, and he was very wise. He taught all the young demigods, the young Apollo, etc. And he taught them archery and battle skills, but also naturopathy and herbalism. So the irony of Chiron's story is that although he was a great healer, when he got wounded in the thigh by a stray poisoned arrow, he couldn't heal his own wound. So he just retreats to his cave and he howls and howls in agony. And that's it. That's the end of the myth. There's no happy ending. In astrology, Chiron represents humiliation, embarrassment, hurt, wounding. It's where we feel meaningless, depressed, where we don't feel we have strength. So the point of Chiron in astrology is this is the wounds that make us wise. It's that struggle that makes us strong. And this is our own individual humiliation and struggle. But what it does is while we battle with it, while we try to think of ways to feel better about it, what we're doing is we're having an experience. These experiences and our wisdom and learning which comes from this feeds back into the collective unconscious. There is a dialogue which goes from our unconscious with our wisdom and learning and plugs into the collective unconscious. So in this way, we're improving the quality of the collective unconscious as it learns about struggle and therefore wisdom. We're improving it for everybody. This is our own little bit of work that we're feeding back into the cosmos. So what to do with this? Well, if in this period from the 10th to the 16th you feel this wounding, you feel this issues, and first of all, have a reading with me. I mean, we can talk it through and we can discover ways to make you feel much better and a way to get the wisdom instead of feeling so low. So yeah, do that, please. But also, what you can do is you can meditate, you can cuddle yourself, hug yourself, feel sorry for yourself, love yourself, give yourself all that healing, and that will hopefully make you feel a little bit better. Okay, so that about wraps it up. As I said, I would love to see you if you want a reading with me. Great. They're quite cheap now, from dollars to pounds because of the exchange rate being so good. So it might be a good time. I will be recording another one of these in a month's time. October it will be, so hopefully I'll see you for that. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please write a comment on YouTube or something, and I'd love to write back to you. It's great to hear from you guys. Thank you ever so much. I'll see you next month. Bye.